Hello there. Welcome to this kitchen talk. I'm in my little kitchen where I stay on the weekdays and on Sundays when I'm pastoring at a church. And I'm just so thankful you've tuned in today. And I'm remembering this moment in time. Now, what I'm going to talk about today did not happen in a kitchen. I was actually standing in line for a roller coaster. So I've got to be really honest, I still love roller coasters. And as I was standing in line at a Six Flags amusement park to get on this roller coaster, there were these two women right in front of me. They were a little bit older than I was, and they were talking about church, and so I kind of tuned into that. And one of them said, I'm going to do the children's moment this Sunday. And the other one said, I'd be really afraid to do that. I wouldn't know what to say when I got up there. That'd make me really nervous. And the other woman responded with, I've been a Christian all my life. I ought to have something to say about Jesus. And that has stuck with me all these years. I've been a Christian all my life, and I ought to have something to say about Jesus. And there's this story in the Bible in John 9, chapter 9, verses 17 through 25. And this man who'd been born blind, Jesus comes by. And the man cries out for mercy, and Jesus picks up some mud off the ground, puts saliva on it, and puts it on the man's eyes, and the man is healed. The religious leaders, the Pharisees and all, are really trying to pin Jesus down. They're just looking for any kind of dirt to get on him, just to move him out of the way and get rid of him. So they're pressing the man about how this happened, what happened. Is he really is he a prophet? What is he? And the man just finally gets frustrated, and he says, I don't know about all that, but what I can tell you is, I was blind, but now I can see. Wow, that's powerful. That was his story about Jesus. That was his children's moment. That was his before and after of meeting Jesus. I was blind, but now I can see. What would your story be for your life? Because it's the most powerful thing in the world to affect and infect someone with unconditional love. My story is I was abandoned at birth. So I look back and I know that I was unwanted. I think of myself as an unbaby, unwanted, undesired, unhealthy, unpleasing, unloved. So mine began as unloved. And somewhere in my life there was someone that told me, whether I had parents or not, that didn't matter, that the fact that I was a child of God was what was most important. And somewhere someone told me that, and it just stuck with me. And then a little bit later on, I was adopted. So it could have even been my adoptive parents that told me that. I don't know, but it was just a pivotal point in my life. So that was kind of like my meeting point of Jesus, that I was a child of God, and no matter what, that's what mattered the most. So I think of my story before that as being unwanted. And then I think of that moment of finding out I'm a child of God as being that moment I met Jesus, even though I've been in church all my life. And then I think of my after, where the man said I was blind, but now I can see. I think of my after, being adopted, in the way my adoptive parents always told me that they picked me out. I think of my after as being chosen. So my story is I was unloved and unwanted, but I met Jesus because I was a child of God. And because of that, two people came along to adopt me, and I was chosen. So whether you've been a Christian all your life, or whether just a few days, or whether you're just kind of thinking about it, anytime you meet Jesus, you have a story to tell about it. Not just the first time, but every time. And a lot of people, when they hear that and they think about that, all I know is I was blind, but now I can see, they say, but I've known Jesus all my life. What would my story be? Oh, but my friend, you've had moments where you can look back and you know that you just wouldn't have made it through without Jesus. You know, without the love of God, the strength of God, and the power of God, you would never have made it through that situation. That's the story that you tell. It's a story that the world needs to hear. It's a story that your neighbor, your best friend, a stranger in the store that you're going in today, the post office, may need to hear. They need to hear that love is real in your life, and they need to hear what God has done in your life. So I hope that you'll take time to think about your story, and that you'll tell it often, that you'll tell it as much as you can, and that you'll tell it with passion. Have a great day, my friend, and thank you for listening to this kitchen talk. Bye-bye now.